So let's get started with this draw, right? Let's going to find out right now who's going to win these 4 cards. Good luck, guys, and let's do the draw. Here we go. Drawing the first winner, the second winner, the third winner, and the fourth winner. And we already see a familiar name here, right? We do see a familiar name there of Darkstalker. We also see Mike, which is Cock 1948. So I'm not sure whether that is a Cock that we have here on the channel. Is that you? It is him, isn't it? Look at that. Oh my God. I thought that could have been you, actually. So we've got Mike, who wins, and that's Cock 1948 on Twitter, but it's actually Cock 1947 who we know here on the stream. So well done to Cock 1947. We've then also got Sirius 247, who is a winner as well. We've then also got Darkstalker SR. So Darkstalker, who's a regular on these streams. I'm not sure if he's here right now. I don't see him in the chat. But Darkstalker, you've also won yourself a card, man. You've actually just won yourself a Doria card. And then last but not least, we've got S4 Nanda. So I guess that's Sander, right, on Twitter. You've also won a card too. So congratulations to the 4 winners. Mike, Cock 1948, you win yourself an Arne Engels card. This one here. The second winner is Sirius 247. And Sirius 247, you win yourself a limited card of Maxwell Cornet. So well done indeed, man. Then Darkstalker, you win yourself the limited card of Doria. So GG to you, man, because that's a good card to win. And then last but not least, of course, is Sander. And Sander wins the limited card of Victor Lobbery. So 4 cards, 4 winners. Congratulations to them. And do not worry, guys, as I say, if you didn't win a card here, because trust me, and I'm pretty sure everyone in the chat will be able to tell you, we are literally doing live stream giveaways on the Twitch channel pretty much every single time I go live, right, guys? We tend to have them every... That's Jacob. I think it's actually Jacob, right? So Jacob Slovic, this goalkeeper here, I sold the GOAT, Steve Clark, which I have to say felt a little bit wrong. Why is that taking so long? There we go. I have to say, guys, it felt a little bit wrong to sell Steve Clark, but I do feel like, for me personally, I feel like that was the right thing for me. And even though it felt wrong at the time, I don't regret selling Steve Clark, and potentially I might go back up and pick Steve Clark again, maybe for the Leagues Cup. But I had to exit out Steve Clark because I've been thinking from the start of the season, when will I spot the opportunity to exit out Steve Clark? Because he's a 37-year-old goalkeeper, and he's a very good goalkeeper, and I love him. I think he's great. But at the same time, I want to try and reduce some exposure. Maybe try and invest in a younger goalkeeper like Jakub Slovic, who's only 31 years old. And also, to be honest with you, Steve Clark's got a really horrible run of fixtures, I think, coming up. And I think that his L5, or his next 5 games, he's going to suffer badly. If we just quickly bring up Steve Clark, right, so you guys can see it. Because I don't want anyone to be panicking, right? When I sent that announcement, I'm selling Steve Clark. You can see here, I sold Steve Clark here. And there's kind of been like a flurry of activity just after I've sold him, where loads of other Steve Clarks have been sold. And they've been selling for less as well. So I don't want people to be panic selling him, right? This is just my opinion about Steve Clark and what I think could potentially happen over the next 5 games. Steve Clark's price now, at the moment, is kind of starting to tailspin. It's starting to crash a little bit. Because I sold him this morning for £29. He's now down to 24. So I hope that I'm not responsible for that, because I don't want to be causing hysteria and panic, right, amongst Steve Clark owners, because it's not like that. This is a great goalkeeper, and Houston having a great season. His averages are amazing. And you guys know how much I love Steve Clark, because I always talk about him. I feel like there's probably never a stream that we don't mention Steve Clark, right? And that's been the case for the last 6 months or so. Absolutely love him. Loved him for years and years and years. Even when he was at Portland Timbers, I just loved him then as well. So he's a great goalkeeper. What's really good about him is that he gives you that high end as well, which is really important in certain game weeks. So you do get a little bit of low end scoring from him, but his AA is actually pretty decent, which makes him really good for Threshold, makes him really good for a dedicated regional competition like Champion America, makes him really good for MLS Pro, makes him great for Cap 270. So he's got loads of use in the game, right? And he's had a stinker here, right? let's be honest with it, he's had a stinker. Last night, he conceded 6 goals, which is shocking. Very uncharacteristic of how Houston Dynamo have been playing so far this season, right? Because they've been defensively quite sound. You can see that here. There's been very few games where they've conceded more than 1 goal, right? And then just yesterday, it just completely collapsed on them. The whole team had a shocker. And of course, Steve Clark's then going to get a really horrible score like that. However, I was already thinking, I think I was thinking around here. I was thinking after this Real Salt Lake game that I maybe need to start looking at selling Steve Clark because I bought Steve Clark at around £30, right? I think it was just shy of that. It was something like £28, £29. And with Steve Clark, right, if we just take a look at his price graph, let's just go back here. Let's go back 6 months, right? So there you go, right? So you can see by this yellow dot is when I bought Steve Clark, right? So I bought Steve Clark's limited card. Let's just see if we can hover over it, right? Oh, wow. I bought Steve Clark's limited card on the 4th of February, and I bought it for £28.56, right? £28.56, kind of after his price had declined a little bit, and then it had started to level off, right? But then what happened is that his price then massively dropped, and so it made me think, oh, you know what? Maybe I bought Steve Clark a little bit too soon. I could have definitely picked up a Steve Clark here, say, for like less than £20, right? Then his price increased a bit more and got back to the level about a couple of weeks later to kind of like this level here. You can see the 18th of February. So around kind of 2 weeks after I bought him, it got back to around the level that I paid for him. Then it kind of leveled off. Then it dropped again. Then it went up, right? And this is now in March. Then it's kind of been quite level. It's been a little bit up, but then it's been mainly increasing, right? And you can see over the last month that Steve Clark's price has steadily risen until it got to around here, which was yesterday. It got to about £41, right? And that's his card that went on auction. Now, with me as a budget manager, I'm always looking at my players and I'm looking at their values and I'm thinking, right, I have Steve Clark. I love him. I think he's great. But I also don't want to be in a position where I hold on to a player too long so that then I then end up not able to sell them on or trade out of them if I miss the window to sell them for a profit, right? And I was already thinking, let's just take it back so you guys can understand this. I was already thinking here, after this amazing run of form, I was thinking, wow, this would probably be a good time after this game here, after this 89 score, this would probably have been the best time to maybe sell him. Because then his L5 would have been amazing, his L15 would have been great, everyone would have been taking a closer look at Steve Clark and thinking, that's amazing, I want in on Steve Clark, right? But I didn't do it because I still really liked him, and I felt like his price could maybe increase a little bit more. And then after this game yesterday, I immediately sold him because I did not want his price to crash, which it has done now, and I wanted to try and sell him at £28 before his price dipped below that, because if his price dipped below £28, then I don't know whether I'm then going to be able to sell him for exactly what I paid for him and basically get my money back on him. And the other thing that really worried me here was that when you have a look at Steve Clark's next fixtures, his next game is away to St. Louis City. Then after that, it's at home against LAFC. Then it's away to LAFC. Then it's at home to San Jose Earthquakes. Then it's away to Austin. This is horrible. This is a horrible run of 5 games. And that's just the next 5, right? Then after the Austin game, it's then Seattle Sounders, Sporting KZ, and then it gets slightly better after that because then it's Minnesota, then it's Colorado, then it's kind of Orlando, which they're a decent team, right? But these next kind of 5 or 7 games really scare me, and it made me think that Steve Clark, potentially, his price could start to crash even further and even quicker because I am honestly not expecting Steve Clark to deliver any level of good scoring over the next 5 games here at all, and potentially the next 7 games. So then if that happens, where Steve Clark delivers really bad scoring over these games, what's going to happen, I think, is his price is going to continue to come down, right? So it's already on this downward trajectory right now. His price is going to come down. And then what will happen at the end of the 7 games here, where is it? Probably at this point, right? probably around this point, I can then look at Steve Clarke again, as in picking him up, but then his price would most likely be around £20 or less, which then means I can pick him up for way less than what I actually just sold him for. And so that's the plan with Steve Clarke, really. I love him. I think he's great, but I've just spotted an opportunity here where I can cash out of him, basically exit out of the card, get my money back on him, and not have my money tied up in a card that is then most likely going to deliver some really bad scoring over the next 5 to 7 games. And then I can just wait 5 to 7 games. And then if I want to get back involved in Steve Clarke, which I might want to do, right? Because it's the Leagues Cup, which is happening around here. You can see the 22nd of July. So basically after this next run of 7 games, I would then be in a position to maybe pick up Steve Clarke for the Leagues Cup. And then I can just kind of look to pick him up for way cheaper than what I originally bought him for. So yeah, guys, if you've got Steve Clarke, do not panic too much. At the same time, if you have other goalkeepers, then I would maybe say it's probably worth trying to play the other goalkeepers over the next 5 to 7 games as opposed to Steve Clarke, because I'm telling you now, I cannot see how he can. Yeah, so Ivan Villa, and then we're going to have Unai Nunez. I mean, this is a little bit bravado, but I'm honestly happy to do it. Let's just do it. It's probably not going to work out, but I'm happy at this stage to give it a go. So let's put in Ivan Villa, right? We're going to switch out Predrag Rashkovic. We're going to then add in, where was he at? We're going to add in Ivan Villa here, right? Which seems a bit crazy, but let's go nuts. Let's get it confirmed. Right, so that's done. We've committed to it now, which means that we're definitely going to commit to Nunez in defense. We have this defensive stack, which is really, really crazy, having a defensive stack against Barcelona. But you know what? Let's just give it a go, right? We've then got, Parejo. Then we've got, Tony Cruz. And then we've got Sorloth. Cool. Cool, guys. This is what we're running with, right? In La Liga, in our La Liga team. And this looks like it's, this looks like we're playing some weird game of chicken, basically, with a heavy hitting team, which we kind of are, because we are basically gambling that Celta Vigo can put in the performance of a lifetime in a game, or the last game of the season, to save their skins from relegation. And we're hoping that they can maybe keep a clean sheet against Barcelona, which I'm not expecting. But we've done it. We've committed to it. So why not? We've committed. So that's our team for La Liga Amateur. Right, so that hasn't gone to plan then, has it? That's a little bit what I was worried about. Because this did kind of technically go to plan. And if you're wondering what the plan was, I'm going to tell you right now. Our plan is to bring in Droizy so that we can then run Droizy and Hani Mukhtar in midfield together. And Droizy's been out injured for, you can see here, right, the past 5 games. And so that's brought his L5 down to 0. And then we were just hoping then that he would then return from injury, be played off the bench, and then only register bench points of, like, say, 25 or 26. Because then if he had registered, say, 25 or 26 points here, it would have then taken his L15 down to what we could then afford, which was be around 51. But what we didn't want him to do, to kind of mess up our plan here, is we didn't want him to come off the bench and then get a decisive, so that then his L15 remains out of reach. So that's kind of really thrown our plan up in the air, and we have to act now, actually. Because otherwise we're not going to be able to afford Droizy, and then that whole plan of trying to get him in with Mukhtar just goes out the window. Ah, that's so annoying. Hello to Dasan as well. Welcome to the channel, man. That's really annoying. It was so good in principle, right? The theory to this was spot on. Basically wait until he comes back from injury, that he's going to then start from the bench and then give you 25 points here, that then brings his L15 down for the next game week, basically, where you can then afford him. But he just completely tore that up by coming off the bench and getting a score of 72. But I think what we do want to have is Claudio Bravo, so we can have that stack with the goalkeeper, Ivasic, and Claudio Bravo is such a heavy hitter. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy this item, right, this extra swap. So there you go. We spend 100 Sorare coins to get the extra swap, right? And then what we're going to do here, guys, is we're then going to go back into upcoming. We're then going to go into MLS Amateur. We're then going to use our swap here. And we've got 3 swaps available. So watch this, right? I wonder if we can make this super impressive. Watch this. Are you ready? Here we go. We're going to send, right? We're going to send Aaron Herrera, who we only just brought in recently for the midweek. We're going to send him. Then what we're going to do is we're going to send Damir Grilak. And then what we're going to do, because I think if we try and do it now, yeah, then what we're going to do is we're then going to send Jesus Ferreira. Because I think we want to keep Erkin Kara because we bought him so cheap at 44. That gives us 150 budget to spend, right, of points. And now we've got no issue with Jesus Ferreira. This is the thing, right? We absolutely love Jesus Ferreira. But we have a lot of the budget of our points tied up in a forward. And 57 is a little bit too much. I would want more of that tied up in someone like Droizy. So we are going to do this swap here. We're going to use all 3 swaps. We're going to confirm that. Then what we're going to do here is we're going to say we want to receive. Right, so we're going to go back to defender. We're then going to find Claudio Bravo. Right, and this has been the master plan for a while, hasn't it? So we're going to bring Claudio Bravo in for a cost of 41. Right. Then what we're going to do is we're then going to bring in Droizy. Oh, let's get Droizy's name spelt properly as well. That would help, wouldn't it? There we go. Then we're going to bring in Droizy for 55. And you can see here that we are just shy. We're just shy of the 57 that would make this possible without having to swap out someone like Jesus Ferreira. We are just shy of it. Because if we had 57 here that was remaining, we would not need to swap out Jesus Ferreira. Because Jesus Ferreira is 57. And yeah, we have to do it. We only got 54 remaining. Then what we're going to do is, Free Tip Scout, will be any card wars from the midweek. I haven't shown you that yet, but I'm going to show you that in a second. Thank you for reminding me about that. Then what we're going to do is we're then going to go into the forward slot, and we're going to find ourselves a beastly forward that we can spend from our 54. Because we should be able to get someone pretty decent here for 54. Now, Daniel Shaloi is just out of touch, right? Gustavo Bo's 54. We've got Carranza here, though. We can't do Carranza because we have Andre Blake and Kai Wagner, which is a bit of a shame. Got Ebu Bissi, though. Ebu Bissi would be an interesting one to pick up here. Oh, I love Ebu Bissi. He's one of my favourite players. I'm very tempted to do that. How much is Brandon Vasquez as well? We've got Michael Ura in there, but we can't do Ura. Brandon Vasquez is 49. Brandon Vasquez is 49. So we could equally do a Vasquez, because 49 is good, and then it will kind of leave us a little bit left over. It's done, guys. We've done it. We've done it. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to run the team like this, actually. We're going to take out Erkin Kara, right? Even though Erkin Kara has been starting for us, and we're going to put in Droizy. Like that. That's what we're going to run with, I think, pretty much every single game week. Sometimes there may be an opportunity where we play Claudio Bravo, but Andre Blake, Kai Wagner, Hani Mukhtar, Sebastian Droizy, Brendan Vasquez. And then we've got Erkin Kara on the bench as well. Guys, if this team can't win a card in MLS Amateur, then what can, right? We've got so many top players in this starting 11 here. Starting 5, sorry, not starting 11. And we've got good fixtures here as well, really. Don't really like that Hani Mukhtar's away, but it is Hani Mukhtar, right? You have to play him. These are the 3 cards that we're going to give away right now. We're going to give away Dylan Levitt, Mahir Emreli, and then Gwilherm, which is the card that was never claimed from last week's 230 sub giveaway. It was not claimed, guys, which is crazy. So we're now going to give that back. As in, we're going to give it away again and hope legend. So the winners here today, guys, as a really quick recap. The winners are Bearded Legend, who wins Gwilherm. Then we've got Valley O99, who wins Mahir Emreli. And then we've got Jinx Official, who wins a limited card of Dylan Levitt. Congratulations to those 3 winners. And guys, do not worry if you missed out here today, because as long as you're a sub to the channel before we go live tomorrow at 12 p.m. UK time, you have a chance to win even more cards tomorrow. And you would have seen as well that we received loads more cards from the community out there. So we have more cards to dish out to you guys. And again, a big thank you to everyone that's been sending us these cards, because these are really decent cards as well to throw in for some giveaways. So thank you so much. Let's take it back. Thank you so much, guys, again, for the incredible, insane, amazing support that makes you guys the best community out there. I don't care what anyone says. This is the best community on Twitch for Sorare, 100%. You're better catch me, guys, in the Discord as well. So for any of you guys that have been maybe struggling with the Discord, I'll have a little look at it now for the next 20 minutes, and I'll sort it out for you. It's a nice, easy fix. So don't worry, you'll have access to it really soon. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. So I'll see you all tomorrow, and have a lovely, lovely evening. Thanks, guys.